Uh, this is kind of the introduction of the SAC committee, what it is. So first thing is that it is responsible for student programs for the benefit of IEEE student members of the section. And it is basically a volunteer driven initiative. So it is the volunteer who are participating as a SAC committee member and working towards the benefit of the membership benefit of the volunteers only across the section. And the mission is to deliver a common high quality IEEE student member experience throughout the section. So what does it really mean? So what happens that if we see in the section, we have 120 branches, student branches, and many of them are very active. But at the same time, there are few branches which are not active. And when it's come to the membership benefit, the benefits for a student comes from the activities happening in his local unit as well as activities happening at the section level. So this is the responsibility, this is the mission of this committee to ensure that there are activities happening in all the branches, and to promote the activities in the different branches, what different initiatives need to be taken. That is the responsibility of this committee, so that when there is activity happening in each and every branch, then with that the members at the local branch will be benefited, and they will get the they will be able to fulfill the target of IEEE. So what is the target of IEEE? To provide a platform to each and everyone for the benefit of the community. So there are some SAC goals that we had defined when we started this committee a few years back. So I have just tried to list them here. You can see that the first thing is to strengthen the partnership between student units and IEEE entity of the section. Then to plan and organize the different activities, to create student-friendly information management system, and then support student activities of student units, that means student branches, student chapters, student affinity groups, and provide guidance to them. Then provide organize this interactive training program for volunteer, like the program we are having today. So provide to organize such training programs for the volunteers where they can learn about the different tools, different opportunities, and how they can create the opportunities for their local members.
Dear members, please keep yourself muted. Please.
S4 आएगा यहाँ पे. वही तो जनरल आगे है.
Sir, kindly mute him.
Listeners, please mute yourself.
Okay. Yeah. So moving ahead. So then, of course, when we are doing all those things, we need to provide operational excellence, and for that, we need to provide training to the volunteers of the SAC committee as well, and then increase the number of student activities throughout the section. So when we will do all these things, by default, the activities throughout the section will increase, and with the increase of the activity, the participation of the members will also be increased. So that is kind of goal of the SAC committee in summary. So when we have a SAC committee, we have a different groups in that. So SAC basically stands for Student Activity Committee. Now this committee, of course, has different goals and different objectives. So for that, we need to have different subgroups within the committee. And so these are kind of tentative groups that we have for our subcommittee, and based on the requirement, the SAC chair and the SSR, they can, and even the SAC committee members, they can discuss and add more groups in this list. But these are the groups that we have traditionally from last 5-6 years. So I will start from one side, that fund group, then website group, then social media group, then graphics, then student branch connect group, SB Connect, then activity group, and then there is a deputy coordinator to coordinate all these groups, and then we have an internship committee subgroup, and travel and registration rebate subgroup. So as the you can get the idea that whatever the name of the subgroup is, that is the responsibility of the subgroup by default. So I will be going in the detail of this one by one. So first thing is that we need a subgroup called funds subgroup and the responsibility of this group is that throughout the year, there are different funding opportunities from IEEE UP section, from IEEE R10, from the Women in Engineering Society, from Young Professional Society, and different other societies. So the volunteers of this group, they are responsible to find out about these opportunities. So what happens that when IEEE R10 will announce some funding opportunities, it will send one mail, but at the same time, it will have everything on its website. Now, mails can be missed by the volunteers across the section. So responsibility of this volunteer of the fund subgroup is that he should keep checking these websites, the UP section website, the R10 website, and IEEE website, uh, and whatever the different websites we have in IEEE. So the volunteer is responsible to check all those websites and find out about the opportunity. And once he knows that, he or she knows that, okay, this is the opportunity where we can apply for the funding, then comes the next thing, that to propagate that information throughout the section. So if there is a call for funding, like let's say that Women in Engineering funding call, or from Arten the project, some side project call, or some educational activity project call. So the responsibility of this volunteer is that to gather that information, at the same time to disseminate that information through different social media groups. Now, here I have kept some tentative numbers. You can see like in red, number of volunteers. So of course, for any subgroup, minimum requirement is one volunteer. With that, it can work. But of course, more volunteer is better. So the numbers I have given is kind of the minimum that is must. But with more members, this group can work much better. So that is one thing. And another option responsibility of this funding group is that on behalf of SAC, when there is a funding opportunity, if the opportunity is suitable, the group can also apply for the funding on behalf of SAC committee. Then we have another subgroup that is website subgroup. And the website subgroup is basically, if you go to section website, you will find that there is a SAC page on the website, and that basically covers all the information relevant to the student members. So the list of branches, list of student branch chapters, list of affinity groups, their chair, their counselor, their advisor, and then different links about the SAC activities. So to maintain that website, we need volunteers. So right now, minimum requirement, we have to manage that one page. So of course, we need at least one volunteer, but more is better. Then next group is social media group. Now, if you see, if you have remembered that in previous session, I have listed kind of 10, 12 social media groups that we have right now. We have kind of 4 or 5 subgroups on WhatsApp. Then we have groups on Telegram. Then we have groups on LinkedIn. We have groups on Facebook. And the requirement is that someone can please mute him. Yeah, sorry. So the responsibility of social media group is that whenever there is information available, that information should be distributed across the section, across all the groups. At the same time, they are responsible to manage these groups. Like, so what happens that over time, if you have a group with let's say 200 members, 400 members, over a time, few members will go out of section. Few members will not renew their membership, or there could be there is a group of student branch chairs, but student branch chairs kept repeating, gets kind of updating each and every year. So every year we have new student branch chairs, and the outdating branch chairs leave their post for the new one. So that groups need to be updated each and every year, and even throughout the years, whenever there is a new member, new chair takes position of his branch, he or she should be added to that group. At the same time, to maintain the kind of to maintain the group concurrent, the inactive members should be removed from that group. So for that, we need volunteers. And so responsibility of this social media group is that to do all those things. One is to manage the groups, and one is to disseminate the information. Now, I have mentioned here 2 volunteers because this is really kind of in sense of timing that it takes kind of 10-15 days every day. But what happens that there could be a chance that one volunteer is not available on particular day. So we need a backup volunteer. So for that, we need at least 2 volunteers so they can manage. But based on the number of groups, if we can have 4, 5, 6 volunteers, that's much better. So that is the role of this group. And then based on requirement, this group is also responsible for creating new social media platforms, new social media channels. So yeah, that's about it. Then there is a group for subgroup for graphics. So what happens that like if you see this event when it got announced, we have a poster for this event for today's session. So whenever there is a event, there is any activity from section from the SAC committee, there is a poster that need to be designed. So the responsibility of the graphics subgroup is that to design that poster, to create that, and so they need to create the template, they need to collect all the data, and then design that poster, the banner. And whenever there are different activities, like let's say that we used to circulate New Year messages, we used to circulate Women's Day messages, we used to circulate uh, other celebratory messages, congratulatory messages. So for that, we need posters, we need banners, and that need to be designed by some volunteer. So this subgroup is responsible for that role. Then we have a SB Connect group. SB Connect basically stands for Student Branch Connect. So as I told in starting that we have more than 100 branches, but 25 branches are active and rest are not that much active. And the number keeps changing. Now, what happens that whenever there is a change in leadership, so when if the change in leadership happens smoothly and efficiently, then the outgoing chair, outgoing counselor will add the new chair, new counselor to the groups, and each and everyone will stay connected. But if that happens abruptly or there is some miscommunication, something missed out, then even the active branches get left out from the different groups. So the responsibility of this SB Connect group is to reach out each and every branch, to reach out the counselor, to reach out the student chairs, if not the students, then the active volunteer of the branch, and ensure that they are someone from that branch, someone from that team is connected to the respective group of the section, social media groups. So that is SB Connect. And then we have a activity group. Activity group is basically responsible for organizing the activity. So like in previous session, I had listed kind of 7-8 activities that is usually organized by the SAC team. And then there are seminar, there are webinar, and other sudden activities that pops up. So to organize those activities, we need again the different things to need to be done. Like we need to schedule that on tool, we need to announce the event, we need to create the content for that. Then once the event is done, then we need to report on tool. And even when the event is going on, then at the same time, like today Ajit is doing, to manage the session, to ensure that each and everyone is connected, and whatever the backend of an activity is, to maintain all those things, we need volunteers. And for that, we need kind of large quantity of volunteers, because section have a lot of SAC committee, and section has a lot of activities going on throughout the year. And for that, we need multiple volunteers who can work in rotation, who can basically coordinate and make things smooth. So for that, we need minimum 5 to 10 volunteers in the SAC team. And these numbers are basically based on my experience in past year. So at that time, we had some fixed number of activities. If the activities increases, then definitely the number of volunteers will increase in the same proportion. Then we need when we have a SAC committees, so to coordinate between all these subcommittees, all the subgroups, we need a deputy coordinator. Of course, he or she is part of the different subcommittee only and part of the SAC team, but while he's contributing in all those roles, the responsibility of this deputy coordinator is to ensure that these subgroups are working, and to ensure that whatever message or decision being taken by the SAC chair or SSR or even within the group, so that all the information is circulated between the group. When something is decided, then that is carried out. So to coordinate all those things, we need a deputy coordinator. And then we have a specific task of internship, as we discussed in previous session. Now, to organize an internship, we basically need to think that we need to have the our resource person. So we need to find a resource person. We need to announce the topics on which we are going to have internship. Then we need to circulate Google Forms and then collect the data, and then work as a bridge between the student applying for internship as the same time the resource person who is going to give the internship. And once the activity is done, then we need to circulate certificates. So maintain to do all those things, we need a dedicated subcommittee, subgroups, and for that we have an internship subgroup. And one thing specific you can see here, it needs of course 4 to 6 or even more volunteers would be better. Here we have a specific thing that it need to have a graduate student member or higher grade member, because here when we are going to organize some internship or something, so the volunteers should have the understanding that what they need to do, and in what they need to do in sense of what kind of resource person they need to find, and how to reach out to the resource person who can deliver the sessions, and then how to manage the different groups of students. So for that we need someone who has some experience and who can basically coordinate who can basically manage the undergraduate students. So for that we need someone who is a graduate student member, that means who is doing PhD, or some faculty member, senior member. And then we have a travel support and registration rebate group, and this group is basically responsible for announcing the opportunities of this travel support, and for the travel support and for the registration conference registration rebate, and to circulate the Google forms, to maintain the data, and once some volunteer is applying, so to ensure that they are getting this rebate, and of course, and whatever the background processing need to be done, that is the responsibility of this group. Now again, this also need 2 to 3 volunteers, and while this is more or less a kind of data management thing and coordination thing, it also needs at least 1 graduate student member who can basically understand the concept of conference concept of travel support and registration rebate, because while the UG students and others, they participate and they do a lot of things, they most of the time they don't have the idea that what kind of receipt to be submitted, what kind of report to be submitted, what kind of details required for conference registration, and when they are taking what kind of paper and things are eligible for that. So when we say graduate student members, then definitely he or she has some experience of 1 or 2 conference at least, and with that they have the idea that how to manage these things. And then these are the social media groups that need to be managed by the social media teams, and on which different groups then can coordinate. So this list is kind of tentative, not tentative, this is kind of continuously updating list. So last update that I have, we had 1 Facebook page, 2 LinkedIn pages, 1 Facebook group, 1 Telegram group of graduate student member, and then 1 Telegram group of the, so 1 is for regular student member and 1 is for the graduate student member. So what happens that there are some announcements specific for the graduate student members who are doing research and other things. So this group is dedicated for them, and then the IEEE student group is for each and everyone who has anything to say, they can participate in that. Then on WhatsApp we have student groups, we have chair groups, we have 2 chair groups, but the thing is that now these groups are more or less outdated, so we need to create a more new groups in place of, we need to basically dissolve these 2 groups and then create a new group in place of that. Then we had 1 SAC 2020 group that was basically kept going for 2-3 years, but now that we need to, that again has become outdated, so we need to create a new group. And the new SAC committee, they need to create their own group. At the same time, each subcommittee can have their group if they need, and we have a group for section counselor, and then there are different other groups continuously added to the list. So these are the groups, but more groups can be added to it. So this is kind of the flagship activities we have that I was talking about. So in previous session, we had a kind of overview of it, but today I will go in more detail of the each and every activity. So I will announce the timeline of the activities and how things are done. So starting from the first activity, we have a kind of IEEE activity. So if you see the screen, you can see that there are details in 2 parts. So, and this information is basically for the SAC activity committee members. So basically what they need to do and how they need to do. It is designed in, it is presented in that manner only. So like this is the detail for last year. We had the first IEEE Day on October 2024. This year also it will be 2-3 days plus minus. And then so the IEEE Day would be celebrated for the entire week from Saturday to next Sunday. So like that. So kind of a 8-9 day window. And in that, basically, IEEE UP section provides financial support to the branches. Now, when we are going to organize this activity, this is basically one-time activity. This activity has a financial involved. So when there is a finance involved, we need to we need to have the receipts of the activities, the payment, receipt of payment, the report of the activities, the photo, and each and everything we need to collect. And of course, when there is finance, then there is a need of approval from the section. So what SAC committee need to do is that SAC committee need to keep in mind that it is once in a year activity, it has a finance involved, so it need to take a approval from the section. And the process of doing it, that first it need to announce the call for proposal. Once the proposal will be there, then out of those proposals, it had to shortlisted the eligible one. So the eligible one, and then approving them. So and that announcement used to happen. And once the event is done, then SAC committee volunteers need to collect the report and then ensure that each and every branch get the reimbursement. So these are the steps. And now since it is happening in October, so basically we need to have the proposal and everything before first start in September, and then announce each and everything properly, multiple e-notices, reminder of the e-notices, all those things need to happen. Now, when volunteers are going to organize it, for that, we already have a defined Google form and template. So what they need to do, they need to make their mind that when they need to announce it, and once they decided that, the SAC team, the volunteers decided that who is going to announce it, who is going to manage it. After that, we have already a Google form available for it that is being used from last 6-7 years, and we have a template for announcement. So this is kind of the repeated activity. So they need to update those Google forms and templates and upload the form for the student volunteers to participate, student branches to participate. Then we have IEEE UP SAC Ambassador Program. Now this is again one-time activity, and before we go announcing the SAC Ambassador Program, we need to inform the section that we are doing it. But the steps are very simple, that we simply need to call for nomination, and out of nomination we need to do the selection process, select the number of volunteers we find eligible, fit for the role, and once the year is done, then we need to circulate certificates. And for that, again, we have a Google form and template, everything available with us. Now, when we are doing it, the target of the SAC committee is that we should have at least 1-2 volunteers from each and every branch, so that we can connect with each and every branch effectively, and the SB Connect team can get help from those ambassadors to connect with different branches. And then those volunteers have different role, that they need to, the SAC ambassador volunteers, they need to circulate the information that they get. So basically they are expected to be ambassador of the section throughout the section, disseminating the information throughout the section. At the same time, if there is some issues, there are some concerns of the volunteers which they feel that is not being heard about, or which is basically being ignored, so they can pass on that information to SAC committee, through which SAC and through SAC committee that information can go to the section executive committee. So those are things there. Moving next. So next we have activity based incentive award. Again, this is once in a year activity. So what happens that different branches are organizing different activities, and based on when they are organizing activities, they are reporting that to B-Tool. And at the end of the year, the SAC committee basically opens B-Tool. It finds the different, it basically downloads the list of the activities by different branches, makes the ranking list that who has organized how many activities, and based on that, it forwards report to the section for the awards based on the activity based. Now this is again one-time activity and finance is involved. So before announcing for the section, approval is required, and The steps is that basically we simply need to send a reminder notice to the branches that they need to report their activities on the B tool. And once that time is done, the calendar time is done, then the volunteers need to collect the data from B tool, create the rank, report to section, and circulate the certificates during the general meeting. Now, again, for this, we have the template available that has been used since last 3-4 years, but that need to be updated each and every year. Now, again, another activity we have is SAC workshop activity. So we usually had this workshop 2-3 times in previous years. So it can we had planned that this workshop that we are selecting the volunteers from the SAC from different section, different branches to the SAC committee. So let's say now we have a SAC committee of 20 volunteers. Now those volunteers are basically working as a bridge between the section, the SAC committee, as well as the branch. So now through these SAC volunteers, different branches can collaborate in leadership of SAC. So there could be one or two event in which different, so in which the SAC team is coordinating, but the activities are being organized at the different local units. So in that way, this workshop was imagined and was organized in last years. Now, again, it has a lot of coordination between branches, and each and every branch need to take care of resource person and other backend activities. So it needs a lot of preparation. So basically 1 to 3 months in advance, we need to prepare for it. And then we need, of course, when we have 20-30 volunteers, we cannot have 30-day event. We will be having only 4-5 day event. So how many SAC workshop we are going to have, 1, 2, or 3, that the volunteers need to decide. It is again up to the volunteer SAC team volunteers only. And in each event, how many volunteers are collaborating, that means how many branches are collaborating. So that is again up to the volunteers to discuss and decide. And once they plan for it, then they need to inform the section. And then based on how much funding is required, they can request for some funding for the section, and decide each and everything, that when things are going to happen, what things are going to happen, and find the resource person, organize the event, distribute the certificates, claim for reimbursement to the section, and report to the section. So those things need to be done. Again, this is again one-time activity, and finances are involved, so section approval is required, that is must. And for that, we have some template and reports available in our archives, so that can be used for as a reference. Another activity we have is hands-on workshop series. So hands-on workshop series is that in this series, we usually invite multiple expert speakers, expert from the industries, from the academia, and they usually take 8 to 10 hour session, and that could be 1 day or 2 day or 3 day sessions. So we have one speaker for 10 hours, 20 hours, based on their availability, and then second day speaker, then third speaker, then fourth, like that we usually organize it. So I have data for 2021 that in 2021 it was 8-day activity, in that we had 4 speakers, each had delivered kind of 8-hour sessions. Each speaker has 2-hour session for 2-hour morning session, 2-hour evening session on day 1, and same on day 2, like that. And so again, for that we need to find the source person, we need to set the calendars and each and everything. So it requires a lot of planning. So we need to plan in at least 1 to 3 months in advance, because then when we are doing it, we need to ensure that our events should not collide with the semester exams or some bigger conferences or something that is going on in the section. So because when we are planning it, we are basically asking volunteers to attend it, and we need to find a resource person. But if they are busy in exams, or if they are busy in some conference or some section activity, they would not be available. Neither the student for the participation, neither the experts to deliver the sessions. So for that, we basically need to plan in advance, and we need to find that available dates and all those things, the management things we need to do, and we need to inform the section. And once all those things are done, then we need to announce it, we need to organize it, and distribute the certificates. And again, we need to give reimbursement, we need to give some honorarium to our speakers, our resource persons. So for that, finances are involved. So we need section approval for that. And For organizing this activity, we have basically we have the template available. So SAC volunteers who are going to be part of the activity subgroup, they basically would be responsible for organizing this activity, and they can use the template we already have. Then we have a seminar webinar series. So this is a thing that keeps happening throughout the year, kind of each and every month. And sometime our senior members, they invite someone, some resource person, and the volunteer simply has to organize it. But other time the volunteers need to find resource person. So when we are having when we are organizing it for kind of, let's say, every month session, so at least for 50% time we need to find a resource person by our own self. The SAC committee by our own self means the SAC committee need to find the resource person. So for that they need to explore a bit that who are the tentative speakers. They can find the previous year speakers, reach out to them to deliver a session, or if they have someone new in their contact, they can reach out to them. And then they need to schedule the event, advertise the event, arrange certificates, memento, honorarium, all those things for the speakers, and then organize it. And once the event is done, then distribute the certificate to participants and report to section. Now for that, then since this keeps happening in throughout the year, we basically we don't need a permission from the section, but we need to inform to the section that we are doing it once the things are now decided, because we need to distribute the certificates which has the section reference there, and we need to distribute a memento honorarium, which is basically financial liabilities. So for that we need to inform the section. And again, for that, now to organize all those activities, to announce each and everything, we have Google Form, we have template, we simply need to use them whenever we are going to do it. Next, we had a graduate talk series started in 2021. So basically it started in 2020, and since then we had a lot of graduate talks through this graduate talk series. Now the graduate talk series is designed in such a way that the speaker for this would be someone who is doing PhD or who has completed his PhD in recent 2-3 years. So they are basically tentative resource person for the graduate talk series. And so the audience is basically the student members, the faculty members of the section, and anyone who is interested in the topic. And nature of this talk series is basically purely technical. So whoever the resource person we find, they are working on some research problem, they are working in some research domain, and they are expected to deliver talk in that domain only, so that they can deliver the state of art information, state of art knowledge to the audience. And for that, basically SAC volunteers need to find a resource person, again to schedule event, or the typical thing that you need to schedule, you need to advertise, you need to arrange certificate memento and organize it, distribute certificates, all those things. Now for that, we have basically a Google form available on which the Google form which can be circulated to the potential resource person, and the resource person can fill them and can become a speaker. Now this again keeps happening throughout the year, and most of the time it happens on the short notice. So basically we need to take a advance in approval from the section in the beginning of the year, but once that first approval is done, after that basically we need to keep informing the section that we are doing it each and every time we are doing it, and finances are involved, so we need to careful about that. And to maintain all those things, we basically need a dedicated volunteer for this talk. And yeah, again, then we have Google form and template for each and everything available. This is more about the same thing that I discussed. So the speakers have the opportunity to share their knowledge to network with section research fraternity, fine-tune their presentation skill, and appreciation certificate from the section. And for the audience, they can get the glimpse of the ongoing research in different areas, more insight from the research field of you, and idea about your career plan, and then of course the certificate is always there. So these are the eligibility and other things. So we have one Rahul Jaiswal. He was a volunteer when I was taking care of this SAC team, and at that time he used to manage the graduate talk series. Now when we have a new team, they need to update. The new team need to find graduate talk series volunteer and need to update all these details. And then we have one very important activity, that student branch leader meet and volunteer training. So like that we are having today. And so typically we usually in throughout the year we used to have around 8 to 10 such events where we have the student branch meet, branch chair meet, the counselor meet, and all those activities. So for that, basically, we basically need to inform the session, and it is short term and there are no finances involved. So information is good enough. But the thing is that I've been as a resource, as the SAC volunteer, the volunteers need to find the different topics. Like, see, previous session was about IEEE and IEEE UP section. This session is about the SAC responsibilities. Our next session are about the V tool, then O analytics. Like that, there could be multiple other topics that are relevant to the volunteers that they need to know. The branch chairs need to know, the counselors need to know. So what are those tentative topics that the SAC volunteers need to find out those topics, and then who could be the right resource person to deliver on those topics they need to find out, and then schedule the event and do all those typical things. And again, the form and everything is available for that. Then we have a U10 initiative. U10 initiative is that it is planned in such a way that each branch is expected to organize 10 activities. So that's why U stand for unit and 10 for 10 activities. So each unit is supposed to organize, and when we say unit, unit could be a student branch, unit could be a student branch chapter, unit could be a student branch affinity groups, any unit. So the unit is expected to organize 10 activities, and for that, to participate in U10 initiative, the SAC volunteers basically need to float the Google form, where in the Google form, the units basically promise that they are going to organize this XYZ 10 activities on the 10 tentative dates. So those are not kind of fixed things, but those are kind of tentative things that units, the branches, the chapters, they promise that they will organize 10 activities on tentative topics and tentative dates. And once the year is done, at the end of year, the volunteers need to open those Google forms, that which branches have committed for, which branches have promised for 10 activities, and cross-check that from the V tool report, that if particular branch has promised 10 activities, how much they have organized, whether they have organized 10 or 20 or 30, how much. And like that, this need to be managed. And based on number of activities they have organized, then the section promises them to give some coupon money for the next year activities, that they can basically next year organize some activity and claim that coupon because they had organized some U10 activities in the previous year. So that's how these things are planned. And now this is again a one-time activity, because the volunteers need to announce about U10 once in a year, and then at the end of year they need to collect the data and find out that who has completed the U10 activity and whom to give the coupon for the reimbursement. Again, for that they need to inform to for that they need section approval, because coupons are basically financial support, and when there is financial approval, we need advance approval from the section. And it is better to announce it as soon as possible after the annual general meeting, because the sooner we announce, the more time branches will have to plan their activities and participate into U10. And then the volunteers need to send multiple reminders, collect data from B tool, check and everything, verify everything, and then if everything is okay, then so they should generate and distribute certificates and report to the section. And of course, then they need to keep a track that the branches who are eligible, whether they have claimed for their reimbursement or not, and if they have not. So what happens that I remember in around 2021 when we started it, around 10 branches were eligible for 10 branches. Around 20 branches participated in it, and 10 branches completed the task. 10 or 12 branches, I forgot the number. And I personally sent them the coupons that they are eligible for the reimbursement, but out of those branches, only 50% branches claim their coupon next year. Rest forget about it. So we need a volunteer who can send multiple reminders to the branches that they have the coupon which they can take benefit of. So the branches had 2,000-3,000 cash coupon available, but they probably didn't remember it, or they got busy in something and they didn't encash that coupon. So to ensure that that doesn't happen again, we need a volunteer who can take care of all those things. Again, we have a Google form and template, and each and everything by U10 is available that need to be updated for 2025. This is again one big initiative we started in around 2022. So collaborate UP. So what happens that I have said it multiple times that we have more than 100 branches, and more than around 20, 25, 30 branches are very active. But then there are branches who are active but not very active. So they are organizing some 5-10 activities throughout the year, but not more than that. And then there is a huge number of branches who are not organizing any activity at all. So what happens that when a branch goes dormant, or when branch does not organize an activity, it is the loss of the members of that branches. So when we talk about membership benefit, let's say that I am getting 100% benefit, then out of those 100%, 80%, 90% benefits comes from the branch activities, not from the section activities, not from the IEEE activities, not from any higher activities. The 90% of my expense comes from my branch activity. So for a student, if branch is not active, branch is dormant, his 90% benefit is lost. So to ensure that each and every volunteer, each and every person who is taking the membership of IEEE gets the benefit of IEEE, the branch must be active. And now to promote those branches which are not active, even though branches who are active, to organize more activity, we started this Collaborate UP Collaborate UP initiative, in which we planned in such a way that we has divided our branches in 3 groups: Group A, Group B, Group C, based on their level of activities. And then we again had 2 categories, how these branches can collaborate. So in category 1, that the active and lesser active branches can collaborate with each other. And in category 2, branches from A or B group can collaborate with group C. And with collaboration, they can organize some activity. So each collaboration means one activity. So we had initial tentative in year 2021, we had kind of 10 activities for category 1 and 20 activities for category 2. And for that section basically gives financial support. So if there is a Collaborate UP activity which is being organized by 2 branches, branch A and branch B, and they are collaborating to do it, and the cost is, let's say, 20,000, then out of those 20,000, 10,000 will be given by the section, and remaining 10,000 will be taken care of by both branches 50-50. So one branch can 5,000, one branch 5,000, and remaining 10,000 from section. So that's how we had planned this activity, and we organized it in previous years, and this year again it should be organized. And the benefit is that the branches who are doing good, their volunteers get more and more exposure on collaboration and organizing activities and teaching skills, that how they can disseminate their information to other branches. At the which are not active, they can become active, and the volunteers of those branches can learn how to organize the things, how to manage the event, how to report on B-Tool, and whatever the small things need to be done. They are 5, 10, 15-minute management things, but until you do it, you don't know about it. So, and for that, this Collaborate UP event is supposed to be a kind of enabling tool. So yeah, for this again, we have Google form and template and everything ready. So SAC team can just take those Google forms and update them for 2025 and use them. Then we have this internship program that we had talked multiple times. So we had in 2021 50 plus internship opportunities, 2022 200 opportunities. So I don't have data for 2023 and 2024. Maybe that it is available with the section. Maybe section can update on that. But this is the data when I was there. So the way of doing things in industry activity, in industry internship thing initiative, is that we need to find a resource person, finalize the date and duration, then call for participation and nomination, then selection in coordination with resource. Selection means that in this internship program, give the authority of the number of a student and which student will get the internship from the particular resource person to the resource person. So if we invite some expert from, let's say that a particular industry A, now that expert has the liberty to choose whom he or she will be giving the internship and what are the criteria he is going to follow. So he might have some questionnaire, he might have some Google form which need to be flowed. So, and once that Google form is flowed or the questionnaire is flowed, the participants can fill that, and based on that, the resource person can make a final call that, okay, out of 100 applications, I will train these 20 volunteers, these 20 students, or these 50 students. So managing all those things need to be done by the SAC team. And then again, organize the activity and generate and distribute the certificates and report to the section. This again is one-time activity, but needs section approval. And for that, we had a Google form and everything ready. Same goes with the student travel support and conference report that we need to do it throughout the year. And we have a Google form and template of this available that need to be updated for 2025. And the main challenge here for the volunteers who is doing it is that they need to keep a track of opportunities that are available. So whenever there is a section executive committee meeting, there is approval of some activity, they need to take a track of that. Okay, what activity has been approved, on what date that is approved, and when that activity is about to happen, then they need to announce in a timely manner, so in 2, 3, 4 months in advance, so that participants can take benefit of it. And then they need to report to section that these volunteers have, these participants, these authors have requested for travel support, requested for conference rebate. Yeah, so that's all. And then we have the important tools that all the SAC volunteers need to learn about, that IEEE tool and IEEE analytics. So that's all. We have a dedicated session on that. And we had, when I was there, I had designed this automated activity support system. So this is basically a Google form. So I told that the graphics team need to generate multiple posters. We need to generate certificate and other things again and again. We need to circulate emails. So basically, I had developed this Google form which does all those things. So the SAC volunteers who are responsible for this, they need training on this, how to use this Google form, and it is basically has some confidential information, not a confidential, but basically it is access based thing, so that no one can tamper with the data. So volunteers need to given the access of this form, and then they need to manage it. And using this support system, basically they can generate all the posters, they can generate all the certificates and everything. Kind of 50% of the documents that needed for organizing any activity, that can be generated through this support system Google form. So that's kind of covers the responsibilities of SAC activity team. Now the SAC activity team should take a lead and do all those things.
Hello, Ankit sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, this is Nitima from JSS University, Noida. So we are having a very new branch. We have opened in December only. So can we? I want to ask you one question. All the benefits I can take after 1 year or after 4 year completion of 4 year.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Sir, actually, funding help I can take after 1 year, or I can take the funding help from IEEE after 4 year.
Ma'am,
every year I can take.
As I understand it, whatever funding coming from the section, that you can take straightforward, that you can apply for it day one. And then when it's come to the funding from R10 and IEEE, they announced the criteria, dedicated criteria for individual funding. So when there is a funding announcement, I don't remember seeing any criteria like 1 year or 4 year. In every time I have seen that it is immediate only. So once you are an active branch, you can apply for the funding. They might have some criteria that, okay, what is the activity in last year in some funding scenarios. For that, there might be some issues that, okay, they might be stating that you should have organized 10 activities, 20 activities in previous year. So, but those opportunities are very rare. In most of the cases, most of the scenarios, you can apply straightforward and request for the funding. There is no such 1 year or 4 year criteria.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, if I want to organize one event, okay, or 10 events per year, okay,
Yeah.
after before happening this in my branch, I need to upload a report or some kind of report beforehand in your B tool. After completion of the activity, I need to submit a report in B tool, right? Is
Okay,
it so?
ma'am, let me clarify it. One thing is activity.
Yeah.
To organize activity, you need not to report anywhere. You simply need to organize it.
Okay.
That's all. But what happens that when you are organizing activities, that is expected to be reported so that people get the idea of it. Now the B tool is the tool to report the activity, and it has two parts. One part is basically and put all the details of the activity except the attendance. So when it is going to happen, who is the speaker and what is the place, all those details that you can fill in the B tool. And once the activity is done, you can update the attendance. So that is two parts. That is supposed to happen. But if you miss the first part, you can do it later on also. And what happens that the advantage of doing it in advance is that when you put anything on B tool, it goes on the IEEE map. So if you announce the things in advance, let's say that you are having an activity in April and you put that on B tool. So the moment you will put on B tool, each and anyone throughout the globe can see what is happening there. So, and you can simply use that B tool page. You can forward that using your social media groups, using e-notice. So you need not to create the different content again and again. So that's the advantage of going through B tool. But somehow, let's say that you organize the activity and you forget about it, you can report it later on also. But do report it, because what happens that at the end of year, IEEE every year IEEE headquarters gives some funding for the branches.
$10 for per year or per student registration, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So what happens that it depends on three things. That one thing is that how many activities you have reported. Second thing is that how many members you have, and third thing is that whether you have done annual reporting or not. So third is the most important. These all three things are important thing. Based on number of activities and based on number of volunteers, your finance value will be calculated. But unless you do the annual report, it will not be approved. So yeah. So you need to do that for the funding
So
purpose.
all
But
three are related. All three are related. If
they
if
are
I
interlinked.
reported 10 activities, I
Yeah.
have completed 10 activities in per year,
Yeah.
and only registration of the registered students in my branch is only 25 or 26. So
Yeah.
will I get anything from the IEEE?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah. So one thing is that you have 20 members. So that is one thing. Second thing is that you have done the 10 activities. That is second thing. Third thing is that you have done the annual reporting. That happens once in a year before. So every year it happens kind of, I think before 1st February or before 20th February. So it happens in that duration. You need to do the annual report once in a year. And annual report is nothing but kind of that you are saying that, okay, I had got this much amount last year. I have used this amount. And this year I am planning these 10 activities tentatively, that one activity on one technical activity, one site activity, one WI activity, some tentative numbers you need to give and just submit the form. And based on that, then IEEE approves the fundings.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more question.
Minimum four
my
event.
my university branch is very new, very young. As I told, it is approved only in this December, right, sir?
Yeah.
So can we apply for new chapters in under my branch?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the rule goes, you can apply.
Okay.
Details, I think Prabhakar sir can tell that what are the other criteria, but regarding apply, you can apply. There is no concern there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You can apply, ma'am, but it will be better if you have just started. It will be a good idea to first groom at least for a few months your branch. Like next lecture will be even more important on how to report on V-tool and what are there on the V-tool. And it will be delivered by Dr. Ankit ji himself. And after that, OU analytics. So lot of, actually we have 4 lecture series, and each and every aspect of grooming the branch, it is being explained. So it may be good idea to have your committee here to at least attend these 4 lectures. And
Yeah.
What Dr. Ankit ji told that you can, from first day you can apply, you are eligible for all these fundings. And yes, for award etc., like sometimes medium branch, big branch, or this kind of criteria is there for, but for funding you are eligible from day one.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And further, if you want help from the section, even we will be organizing at least a few lectures in different months in the NCR, and we will inform you one of the 1 or 2 branches they have requested in the last lecture. So in NCR we'll be soon organizing such lectures, for branch counselors and volunteers. So we'll
Okay.
inform. Yeah. So
And next session we have on
any
B-tool.
question?
I
Yeah.
recommend that. So I was just telling about B-tool that next session we have on B-tool, and I recommend that uh, each counselor available present here, if they can, they should attend it, and they must ask their student branch chair and chapter chairs to attend that. Not the chair only,
Yeah.
but if the committee members like the secretary, a vice chair, because that B tool is the kind of most important thing for anyone who is involved in the IEEE activities.
Yeah. So any further question?
Yes, sir. One question was there, sir.
Yeah.
This is Ravi from Noida, the Institute
You are
of
not.
Information Technology.
You are not audible.
Sir, just no.
Hello, so this is Ravi from JP Institute of Information Technology, Noida.
Yeah.
I'm audible, sir?
Yeah. Please.
Sir, we are we have formed our new student branch chapter. So in the annual report, we have to submit only the event that we are organizing in the coming year or the coming session. We have to just submit only one part only, no, sir?
Yeah. So just to clarify, the annual report is for the student branch only, not for the chapters.
Okay, sir. Okay,
So
sir.
so chapters basically what this need to be kind of noted by each volunteer. Like, so there are 3 things. One is student branch, one is student branch chapter, one is student branch affinity groups. So IEEE headquarter is basically giving fund to the student branches. Annual report is for the student branches. When it's come to the student chapters and student affinity groups, so student chapters or affinity groups are basically associated with the societies. So it could be PS, power system, power and energy student branch chapter, or it could be computer science student branch chapter. So based on the what chapter you have, you need to basically check the website of your society, what rule they have. Like for power system PS society, they used to have a Excel form, Excel sheet, and that is good enough for them. But different societies have different. Some societies don't ask for anything. So for dedicate, you need to check with your society, and to check with your society is basically to check the website of the society.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you, sir.
Any more question?
Ankit ji, namaskar. Yeah, Ankit ji, namaskar. Brijesh from Student Branch Chapter Kite Group of Institution Ghaziabad. Actually, we are facing a problem related to membership, but now it is resolved, and maybe by the next month we will establish. Means again, reactivate the
Very
membership drive. So whether because we are late, it is in maybe in month of April. So can we plan for this annual activities and submission of the annual report at the end of this year?
So, sir, the thing is that the annual report usually what IEEE does, it has a fixed deadline for the annual reports. So you can submit it anytime, but anything submitted after February is they don't count it. So the form is basically available throughout the year.
No,
You can do it.
No, I am
But
not asking for the this year. Actually, I am asking for the year 25. So in
yes, sir.
26 it will be required. So
Yes, sir,
because
yes,
we
sir.
are the late, we are our
Yes, sir, you
student
can do
branch
it.
chapter is active, but the members are very less. Their membership is now deactivated. So in next month, with the college support, we are now again going to register all the students in under IEEE student branch chapter. So thereafter we will plan for the activities and all.
Yes, sir.
So so we can
So,
apply
sir,
for yes,
sir,
yes, please.
you need to submit the annual report sometime around December, January, or February. So at that time you
Okay,
need to do it.
okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. So best approach is do it. I mean, deadline is usually February, but best approach is do it by December.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Another one question, Dr. Ankit ji,
Yes, sir.
can what kind of activities we can report on VTool? Whether it should be fully organized and proposed by our branch only, or any activity which is organized in my university, and student branch was one of the sponsors, or some kind of partial funding was done?
Yes, sir. So any activity where, I mean, it is entirely branch activity or a branch has been part of it, both can be reported because the branch did something.
Okay, yeah, means if even technical support was given by the
Yes,
branch, IEEE student branch, then they can report it.
yes, sir. Any activity where branch has been even partially involved,
Yeah.
that is eligible for reporting. Branch, chapter, whatever it is.
But I think for that, student branch logo should be there on the banner.
Yes, sir. The logo should be there. That
Okay.
official, the logo and some email communication should be there.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I mean, that is kind of proof of that support was there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So they can report such event.
Yes, sir. They can.
Okay. Great. So I think any other question? So thank you very much. Again, it was a very good lecture,
Sir,
and I hope.
someone
Yeah.
has raised a hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please ask.
Morning, sir. This is Dr. Vibhor Sharma from Swamira Himalayan University, Dehradun. So
Yes, sir.
recently we developed a branch, IEEE SRHU student branch. So I just need to ask, like, when we expect some kind of funds from section, so do we need to open a separate bank account, or our university account will be used for that purpose?
So, thing is that there are two kind of funding. One is basically like coming from IEEE headquarters, different IEEE sources. That is one funding, and second is reimbursement funding. So for reimbursement, basically we need the bills and everything, and sometime in exceptional case, it can be given to counselor, but that is exceptional case. In mostly for all the other funding, it should be either branch account or the university account with the approval of university.
Okay. Okay, thank
I think they should be able to trace it,
Yes,
such amount, because reimbursement many times comes throughout the year. So if they can trace, they can use any account. But best idea is to keep it separate, I think.
so recommended practice is that have the branch account, because then you have a control over it, you have a visibility over it, and you know how much funding came and where you have used it, and there is no much paperwork.
Yeah.
But the second alternative is that take it in university account, but as Professor Prabhakar sir told, that tracking becomes a headache. So if you can, if you have a kind of that flexibility there that you can easily track with the university, then that's okay with the section.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Prabhakar sir, I have one question.
Yeah, please.
I'm Dr. Abhay from JP University. I'm a branch counselor over here. So, sir, actually, now we have applied from the last 3 years. We are applying for WIE fund. Most of our events are going in WIE. So this year they have approved. So how we should approach the IEEE section? It will be directly transferred from that particular WIE, or it will goes to the IEEE UP section and then it will come to us.
So, sir, it will go like that. When the WI will has approved it, then they will release the fund. The funding will go to Bangalore headquarter. From Bangalore headquarter to UP section account that is in Kanpur, and from that the section will transfer the fund to your account. So the entire process, once they start the releasing the fund, it takes around 2 to 3 months.
Okay. To whom I should connect in this case, no?
Right.
So at the section level, sir, usually section does it by itself. There is no need to reach out. But you need to keep a track with WIE that whether they have released it or not.
Okay,
and
sir.
if you see that there is any delays, you can simply mail to section executive committee members.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
WIE chair was there last time. I don't know whether madam is there. Dr. Asmita Sharma ji. Asmita Sharma, ma'am, are you there?
Sir, I think the talking about the WI funding from headquarters, so that might not, ma'am will not be able to.
I know. I just I was inquiring whether ma'am is there or not, because lot of Y members are also attending. So, okay, I think in case of any issue, they can or organize some event. They can approach her.
Sir, from GL Bajaj branch council is also Y member.
Yeah, great. Dr. Jasin, yeah.
Madhu ma'am?
Yeah, good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Madhu Gaur from GL Bajaj. First of all, I would like to give the thanks. Sir, in last meeting, we discussed regarding the PG student membership, and we got the message regarding this 50%, and now the student can register and we can expedite the membership from PG students also. So thank you so much, sir. We just discussed in last meeting, and within this week, it has been come out. So thank you. And for why we are one of the student, we have sent the petition for student branch Y affinity group.
Very good.
And at 1 level or 2 level, endorsement has been done. So it is in the process. So I'm just looking that how many days it generally takes to complete this petition, get approval.
From WIE?
I think 1 month. Yeah.
Ma'am, basically it happens during their executive committee meeting. Okay. So if your mail reached them before committee meeting, they might take it in 2-3 days. But if it is after committee meeting, then it might take 1 month, 2 months. So it's like that.
Okay, sir.
Usual time is 1 month, ma'am. So hope that you will soon get approval.
Yeah, we have started doing activities under it without getting it, like so that a student can get the awareness and girls student can be promoted towards the IEEE activity. So we are hoping that soon we can get this approval. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
Great idea.
So there is one thing I like to add. As I said, the ma'am has applied for WI funding. So there are two sources of funding that is very relatively easily available. One is WI funding compared to other funding resources. And if you, as ma'am said, that you have a graduate members, so you can also reach to YP. So if you, because YP membership is free for the students, so you can ask the graduate members to take the YP membership, and based on that, you can reach out to YP for funding. So they also provide funding relatively easier.
Young professional.
Y and YP is both free for students now, so there is no issue. They have to just take a IEEE and both can they can check and they can be part of this.
Yeah, they should
under
join.
YP, I think.
Even membership, I think first time membership dues for undergraduate members is just $7.
Yes, sir.
For graduate members, it is same this time. No reimbursement, no further discount. But for UG members, first time I can see in last 15-16 years, I had been active with IEEE, XCOM and all that activities. It is just $7. So it is a very high time to get our students join, more and more students join IEEE.
Yes, sir, we are trying and we are definitely motivating from PG. Actually, from Monday, tomorrow, we were getting our student back after their examination. So we are starting this process, and for second year, first year student will also come back in the college from tomorrow after finishing their first year, second year exams. So hopefully very soon we can have a good number of students from our branch and their active participation also. Because in our team, Jaising sir is also very active for motivating the students and doing the activities. We initially done one winter camp also, and we got very good response, and now students are coming, ma'am, when again we are having such activities, so the students are coming up themselves.
Good.
So basically our purpose is to create that ecosystem that we should do some activities for the students, involving them more and more, then there will be an ecosystem created. The student will come themselves. We have not to ask them go for the membership. They have to come themselves to take the membership.
Not only that, ma'am, what I have experienced that once they get the taste of leadership, they started organizing the activity by themselves.
Yeah.
So
Once, thank you, sir. So under your leadership, definitely this student branch will flourish and do miracles. We wish.
Very good. So any other question, Dr. K.C. Mishra ji? Are you there, sir? Any other question?
No question, but we need some help regarding the YF intake group.
Yeah, sure.
वो सर ने अभी 1 month का है, so let's wait for 1 month and then again we will knock, right? So let's wait.
हो जाएगा। कई बार मीटिंग्स जो है थोड़ा सा लेट हो जाती हैं, स्पेशली इस टाइम में, तो हो जाएगा जल्दी। And I think we should motivate our all the volunteer team for the next lecture, so that most of the students can be trained. कि होता क्या है, एक स्टूडेंट नहीं है, कोई उसका एग्जाम है, कुछ है, तो जिससे कि दूसरे लोग भी रिपोर्टिंग कर सकें। तो ब्रांच के जितने लोग ये लेक्चर अटेंड किए रहेंगे, नेक्स्ट लेक्चर आई थिंक, तो उतना ही अच्छा होगा ब्रांच का स्ट्रेंथ।
Sir, we do.
Yes, sir.
Time
will be same.